I'm here, and good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for the opportunity to give a presentation to you on Windows File Manager. And what we're going to do actually is it's going to be more of a live demo, and we'll um, entertain questions as we go along. So, first of all, I want to share my screen so you can see my computer, and then we will go from there. Okay, so everyone should see my desktop now. And do you see my taskbar?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to just start out by saying that on my taskbar, I have this folder, and this is my File Explorer. And that icon is there by default, so when you install Windows, you're going to see that. But before I start, I want you to know that I'm currently running um, the latest version of Windows, um, which is 24H H2. So how I know that is because I'm going to go to System, and then I'll go to About. And then here you'll see that I'm running Windows 11 Pro 24H2. So that's the latest version of Windows. And that's significant because um 24H2 brought some changes to File Explorer. So when I click on File Explorer, I will see the home screen. And then to my to my left, you see the navigational bar, which shows all the folders that I have on my computer. These are ones that I have created at some point. And then below that, you will see what typically would be the uh, the desktop downloads, documents, pictures. What you see above here actually is quick access. And also you can see that to the right as well. Which ones? These are ones I have pinned. But as we go down, these are all the folders that I have. And then I have my desktop, I have my downloads, my documents, pictures, music, videos. Also, I have access to my phone, and I can access that as well because I had my phone linked to my File Explorer. So when I click that, I actually can see actually all the files and folders that's on my phone. We'll show you how to do that. And then as we go down, I also have access to folders that I have uh, pinned as well. And then below that, I have my cloud storage. I have an iPad, so I can access all the files and folders to my iPad. I also can also get the photos that I have in iCloud. Then we see the traditional this PC. This is my local drive, and this is network. So File Explorer really gives you a lot of functionality to be able to see your files and your folders on various devices. Now, I will have to tell you that I am a firm believer in cloud storage. I really have nothing stored on my hard drive per se. I have everything stored in the cloud. So here, if you see Bill's personal and you see that little cloud, that right there is Microsoft OneDrive. So when I click that, this shows all my files that I have in OneDrive, which actually kind of mimics what we see here in quick access because they are pinned here. But when I click home, I um, have on my right side, I have things that I have actually designated. This is for me to be able to quickly access very files and folders that I have chose to put here. And then below that are my favorites. And then below that are the recent files that I have also accessed. Little icons to the left tells me where the location of these particular files are. So the ones that have the green circle with the check marks, that means they are downloaded to my hard drive. That's where they currently reside. The ones that you see that have the cloud are the ones that are in OneDrive, and they're equally accessible. But when I click on them, they will actually download to my hard drive, and they will then change this icon from a cloud to a circle with a green check mark. Now, if I want to return those back to OneDrive, I just right click on them and then I click on free up space, and then they will then change um, their status from being on my hard drive to the cloud. One of the things that's different about the current version of File Explorer in Windows 11 is that the ribbon bar is no longer visible. Instead, you have these icons that uh, are shown on this toolbar. So here you'll see you have cut, you have copy, you have paste, you have rename, you have share, you have delete. You also have the ability to sort them. You have the ability to view or change the layout. You can filter. You can set a background if you want to have something that looks different from what I have here that's black. When you click on that, you can choose a different background uh, to show on your computer. And then, of course, you if you are in a picture folder, you have the ability to rotate uh, the pictures left or right. And then here, the three dots will give you undo, compress to zip, add to favorites, copy path, select all, select none, invert selection, properties, and options. When you click on options, you get this applet, which allows you to customize how you want to view your files and folders. Um, one of the things that you need to be aware of is that when you are in the um, when you are in a application, say for instance Word, and this is one that I've been working on. There are some things that you should be aware of when you are working with Microsoft Word, particularly if you are a subscriber to Office to Microsoft 365, is that in all the applications they have something that's called autosave, which theoretically is, I mean, not theoretically, but it's on by default. So that means that that everything is being saved, but it also um, depends on how you have your system set up. So, like in this case, since I use the OneDrive, is that all my files are being saved to OneDrive. So when I go here to File, you'll notice that the only option I have is Save a Copy. And when I save a copy, that means that I can save it to anywhere I want, but that's in addition to the copy that's being saved to OneDrive. Now, if I don't want to save that to OneDrive, I need to turn autosave off. And when I turn autosave off and I do File, I get Save and Save As. So when I click on Save As, then it gives me the opportunity to save to a file I mean to a folder of my choice. And what I normally do is that I will go here to Browse, and that'll bring up my File Explorer, and then I can then choose where I want to save that particular file. And as you can see here, where the path is OneDrive Personal APCUG presentation. Um, but if I wanted, that would be the default location. If I wanted to save it elsewhere, then using Save As, I could then go and then save it to another file and folder. I mean, to another folder. Are there any questions so far? All right. So on the left side is our navigational um, panel. To the right, we have quick access. We can drag folders to from here. I'm sorry. I need to right click. So if I right click, I can pin this particular folder to quick access. And so when I do that, then it will show here in this panel. So I'll demonstrate that again. So if I want to save the APCU folder to quick access, I can pin it to quick access. I can also pin it to the start menu if I so choose. So if I choose it to um, my start menu, which I will show you. So here's my start menu, and that folder should be here. Remember, when you pin anything to the start menu, it's always going to be the last entry on the start menu, and then you can then move it to any place you want to just by dragging. If you want to move it up um, to the very start here, so I could do that. Now that's pinned. I can move it from wherever it always going to be pinned to the end of the start menu, but then I can move it to wherever I want it to be. Um, One thing that's changed about um, File Explorer is the context menu. So when I right click on any file or folder, I'm going to get um, uh, the most commonly used functions for that particular file or folder. And then at the top, I'm going to have cut, copy, rename, share, or delete for that folder. Now, if you don't see the particular function that you want to use, you need to click on Show More Options. And then when you do that, that gives you um, um, quite a bit more where you can share, copy link, manage access, view outline, folder color, uh, in addition to the cut, copy, delete as well. But you'll get access to the other things that were typically available in the ribbon bar. Um, so say for instance, if I wanted to cut a particular item, I would just click on it and then, hold on. Um, I would click on it and then I can go here and I can copy, the functions I can use will be shown in this toolbar. Or if I just right click on it, I can also do the same things as well. Now, one of the things that I like to do that makes it easy for me to work, as you see, I have these little check boxes here, at least allows me to check. That is not a default. That is something you have to select to add to Explore. And you do so by going here to the three dots and then go to Options. And here you have Folder Options, and you can then um, select under View, um, use checkboxes to select items. So that is not checked by default. Again, if you want to be able to have the little check boxes on the side of your file or folder, you have to go to the three dots, go to Options, and then under View, you have to scroll down in this list and then find um, use checkboxes to select items. Now, if I uncheck that, you will see now. Now, always make sure you click OK or Apply. If you're using, if you are making multiple changes, then you click apply and then you click OK. But if you're just doing one, you can just click OK. And now you'll notice that I no longer have those check boxes. Options, view, scroll down, and then use check boxes to select item and do OK. And now it'll refresh. And now I have the little check boxes. Are there any questions at this point? No questions? All right. Um, let's talk about the icons again. This icon right here indicates that my file or folder is in the cloud. I use OneDrive, so it's showing it's in OneDrive. The little circle with the check mark shows that it is on my local drive, and that means I can access it anywhere without being connected to the internet. If I want to return that particular file or folder back to the cloud, I will click on free up space, and then it will then theoretically revert back to the cloud. Let's see if this will work. Free up space. So it's grayed out. So it's already, oops. So likewise, if I want to save something to my hard drive, I will then click on right click, and then I will click on always keep on this device, and then it will then revert so that it will then be on my local drive.
Bill, a question.
Yes, please.
All right, a question. If you have an item in both the cloud and it's on your desk, on your hard drive, and you make a change at one of those positions, say on your hard drive, does it change it? Is it that document also changed in the cloud accordingly?
Yes, it does. But if you've downloaded a item that was in the cloud to your hard drive, if the location of that particular item is on your hard drive, so whatever changes you make will then also will 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 change that file. So when you upload it back, it's one and the same. I guess I didn't explain that right. But the answer to your question would be yes.
Second question. If I looked at my uh, file and I find that I have several versions of a couple of documents that I just saw. I have a document, for example, listing movies that I've watched, and there are several versions of that document. I'm wondering why I have more than one version of it.
Well, Windows has version control, particularly Word does, and let me see if I can explain that um, in a way. So if I'm working on um, a Word document, and I'm assuming it is a Word document,
Yes.
um, Word has version control. Let's see. Hold on. Okay. Let go back here. Um, okay. So here under OneDrive, you see where it says version history. So here on that particular one, it will give the different versions of that document. Um, of when of the last one time it was modified. And so it's going to you'll be able to go back to your previous copies. Um, the other thing I've noticed here is that in when we create a document in Word, if you noticed,
Bill, are you talking?
no, I'm struggling. Okay, so here in Word, here's all the documents. These right here, do you notice that I created a document here that says 138, and how that occurs, and it will be almost a duplicate, is that when I first create my document in Word, and I go here to new, it assigns a number to that document. Like say it says document one. When I rename that, that document still exists as document one. And I have no idea why that happens. So when you go to look at your different presentations, you might find, a document 138, a document 137, and they'll end up being blank. There probably will not be anything in them. Um, And I think that's just a quirk in Windows. I have never figured out why that happens.
Bill, I apologize. I've derailed your presentation. I've gotten you
No,
off.
that's fine. No, 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 you haven't. That's a good question because um, the copy of the version copies, you can only see those in File Explorer, like I showed you. So when you come to File Explorer, if you go, if you right click on one, if you right click and you go down to OneDrive, you will find, well, in this case, there's not a different version, but in that other one that we showed, it actually did show that there was a version in version history which showed another copy of that document. So you might just look at some of your documents. If you're looking for the duplicates, you can go here and right click and see if one exists in OneDrive.
Well, you've answered my question, and I thank you for that.
No problem. Are there any other questions? I showed you where I had my phone um, synced to my to that I was able to get to my phone files within File Explorer. As you can see here, this is my phone, and it's actually linked here. So um, to be able to do that is that so to get our step by step, I'm just going to go here to the search bar and type in link phone to File Explorer. And so here it will give us our instructions of what we need to do. So set up and using your phone in File Explorer. First of all, there's something called Link to Windows that you can send, and this probably applies more to Android phones than Apple phones. So you can seamlessly access and manage your Android mobile device files on your PC through File Explorer once you paired your mobile device with your PC in settings. So what that means is in settings, so here under Bluetooth and mobile devices, you need to allow your PC to access your mobile devices. So you're going to turn that on. And here, where it says phone link, instant access your mobile from your PC, you want to turn that on as well. And then once you do that, you will then see your phone listed here in File Explorer. So then when you click on it, you will then find a folder that says storage. But when you click on that, it expands to other folders that's that's within um, your phone. But the one that you're probably more interested in are the pictures. So if you see DCIM, you click on that, and then you'll find where you see camera, and then that will be all the pictures that are located on your phone. So you'll be able to, if you say for instance you're going to share do an email with one of your friends or family, you could then go and open up your email and do a new email and address it to whoever you want, and then go up to where it says insert, and then click on pictures. Oh, well, no, I'm sorry. You go to attach file. You go attach file because you want to browse your computer. So then you browse your computer, and then you scroll down to where it says your phone. You go to storage, and then you go to DCIM camera, and then you can select the picture that you want.
Does your phone have to be hooked up, wired, or what does it do
No,
it remotely?
my phone is not hooked up at all. It's on this it's on the same uh Wi-Fi. I should have said that. It's um it's on the same Wi-Fi network as the
Okay.
computer because you have your um if you're using Wi-Fi, it's going to recognize it. But if you could also do it by cable as
Okay.
well.
But Bill, you're using an Android. Do you think it works with iPhone?
And you have limited capabilities, but you can try it. I mean, I don't have an iPhone to test, but you should be able to. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's go back and let's make a query. Um, phone link using iOS. So here to link your phone with iOS, you can follow. So you open phone link on your. So yeah, you can do it. You might see a QR code that you have to scan, but then you would be able to link your phone to your computer, and then when you're doing so, you should see it listed here. Says open your phone link app on your laptop, which actually the phone link app is really it's right here. It's an app that's it's on your computer, and it comes up, and then when you first do it, it's going to ask you a couple questions to set it up. But once you set it up, you'll be able, at least on the Android, you're able to see the messages, your messages that you get on your phone, as well as other things.
Mine does. When I do that, mine does have the option for an iPhone.
Okay, so once you do that, then you should be able to see it in File Explorer.
And yeah, and there's a QR code.
Okay, so then it should show here, like it shows here mine, and then you have access to be able to get to the files and folders on your iPhone. Because I even have iCloud Drive, which is actually, I do have a iPad, and so that's how I have this information. And I do have a few photos on my iPad that show up in iCloud Photos. So you notice I have this also on my that I can access from File Explorer as well. Now to create a new file and folder, as you notice, you see here it says new. When you click on that, there's a little drop down arrow, and then that gives you the capability of creating a new folder, a new shortcut. You also have access to other Microsoft um, products like Microsoft Word, and you have Publisher, PowerPoint, all and Excel. You can create those files directly from File Explorer. But the one that you're probably going to be using is new folder. So when you do that, it works just like it does any other way. So wherever you're located, now remember, oops, sorry. So here I'm in the my home um, folder. So when I create new folder, it's going to create that folder here um, in that directory. So just remember that. But if I was going to do one in someplace else, I'm going to go down and select the folder where I want to create my subfolder. So blog items, I do new, and then new folder, and then it creates a new folder in that subdirectory. I'm going to cut it. One thing too is that if you happen to make a misstep, you know how to use Control Z. It will then, say for instance, you accidentally decide to cut that particular item that I just did. I'm going to cut this. So Control Z will absolutely will replace the item that you cut, or that if you made a misstep. That's a shortcut. Any more questions? Your views are over here to your left. So right now it's in detail. Uh, so if I want to get information about any particular file and folder, I just click on it and then let's see, select and then click on detail. And then it will give me the information of that particular folder. So what I have selected, if I want to know about the particulars about this particular folder, I can select it and then click on it, details, and then it'll give me the information about that particular folder. Or if it's a file, and then it gives me that information. Um, as we talked about the three dots before, it's going to give you some functions, but under options, it's going to give you this folder option where you can apply uh, to how you want to view or index that particular folder. Any other questions? The individual that had the iPhone, were you able to create a folder that has your iPhone information?
I actually stopped at that point and just made a note to go back and do it when we get off the
Okay,
presentation.
I understand.
All right, Joe?
I gave it a try, um, my computer said paired device and gave me a serial number to do that, but my phone would never recognize it. It kept searching, so I need to try something else.
Yeah,
So
I'll try it when we get off Zoom
so
and
how I don't know it might be a issue with how new or old the phone is too.
Mine's new.
Yours new? Okay, so it should work.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll try later.
Yeah. And then as you can see, I did drag that up from here and I pinned it. And this right here indicates I have this actually pinned to quick access, which if you go here to home, you should see my phone that is pinned. So when you right click on any of these folders or files and you say pin to quick access, or and click on Pin to Quick Access, then it will then show up here in this panel to the right. So Microsoft has kind of made things confusing in some respects because this is always in the old version of File Explorer. This was always the quick access that was in this area. And I guess for all practical purposes, it still is. But here they have this panel that says quick access as well. And you can pin anything from your navigational bar to this area here. Um, and then, of course, all your recent files are always going to show up in this area. And I find this very useful because if I'm going to, if I've been working on a document and I decide that I need to send an email with that attachment, it's really easy to find it in the recent items rather than have to, try to remember exactly where I saved it to. I'm not always conscious as to exactly where I saved it. Although I made a conscious effort to do so, I don't seem to retain that information. But I can always find it in my recents, and I can just select it here, and it'll go ahead and attach to my email or whatever I'm doing, inserting a picture or whatever. I can always find it here in the recent files.
So Bill, I noticed on that you've got the cloud and you've got the little circles with the green check mark. What is the one that is the blue arrows in a circle? Go to the top, go up. Those
That one
files.
right there, that means that it is in the process of loading information to the cloud.
And
At
if you
some point,
bring,
it will become either a cloud or it will turn to a cloud. See, it says sync pending. Availability, sync is pending.
so do you have more than one hard drive on your computer?
No, just the
No.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. I have one hard drive on this particular computer. Really, it has a 1 terabyte hard drive, so I could load stuff down to it, but I prefer to put it in the cloud because I use multiple computers plus my phone. So if I want to be able to access any of these folders or files on my phone, I can because it's in the cloud.
Bill, we had Judy Taylor on at Tech Night last month, and she said that you were the king of the cloud.
I guess that's true. I feel so comfortable with it. I think when OneDrive first appeared, and that's been many years ago, I was the first one probably. I mean, I thought that was wonderful because at the time I had two computers. I had one. I had a desktop in my office, and then I had another uh, all-in-one that was in my kitchen. And so, for me to be able to access files and folders uh, from any computer was, I felt, was fantastic. And so I've just sort of become pretty much comfortable with doing that. And so I have an iPad, I have a Chromebook, and I have a laptop, and I have that desktop still in the kitchen. And it doesn't matter which computer I'm having to use. I can get to whatever file or folder that I want to just because I have them all stored in the cloud. And I really don't, to me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, where it's stored. I look at it as just another storage location. So, uh, I know that if I'm going to be without internet, then I need to have that downloaded to my physical computer in order to access it. But I have not had any problem because everywhere you usually go, there's internet access. And then I have a hotspot on my phone. So if I have my phone with me, I can always turn on the hotspot and have internet access. So I don't really have a problem with being able to access my files. And I tend to like to travel a lot, and so for me, it's like a couple weeks ago, I took a trip, and I took my laptop with me and my phone, and I needed to finish a newsletter I do for my club, and so I did it at that remote location and finished the newsletter and then emailed it out. And then I had some files that I needed to incorporate in that newsletter. I was able to access those and insert them in the newsletter. And I was a couple thousand miles away from my home, and it just works for me. Any other questions?
Well, Bill, we thank you for your time. Uh,
Oh, it's my pleasure. But we have plenty of time, so if there's any other questions on anything else, I'm more than happy to share my limited knowledge.
well,
Out of,
we
out of curiosity, one thing, once you send something to the clouds and it starts to download it and you sign off, does it stop that? Or I notice it seems like it's kind of slow getting it into the cloud and giving you the blue check mark that indicate that you've got it, everything's been stored.
Uh, well, my answer to that, it's all dependent on how fast your internet is. That's the first um, uh, situation. And then if it stops, then when you log back on to your computer, it'll go ahead and complete it. So you don't really uh, have a fear of losing anything. So if it stopped at one point because you turn your computer off, when you turn it back on, it'll go ahead and finish uploading it to the cloud. But it's all dependent on how fast your internet is. That's the a factor. That's a good question. So I would say don't worry about it. If you need to. I mean, if you're uploading something to the cloud and you need to do something else, you want to turn your computer off, go ahead and do it. When you turn it back on, it'll go ahead and try to complete it. And
Thank you
that's
very
why you
much.
saw, remember the question the lady asked about what were the circles? Because those were actually pending. Let's see, where is it? These were actually pending actions. Sync is pending. So down in your taskbar, you should see a little cloud over in your notification area. If you click on that, it'll tell you um, what's actually taking place as far as the syncing. Here it says your files are synced. And so I I mean I just go by this, even though this is saying something completely different. But I'm not going to worry about that because I'm not so sure. It's probably a file here. This file right here is the one that is that's in the process of trying to sync. And it probably is one that probably needs to be deleted because I'm not sure what that is. That's what's causing that status because this temp drive download file folder is let's see it's empty. So I really would have no qualms in just deleting that actually. Uh,
We're not seeing your screen right now,
oh,
Bill.
I'm sorry. Oh, let me do that. I'm sorry. That's a good point. Hold on. So the question was earlier about I should have pursued that more. Um, the question was earlier that came about earlier was about let me go back. This where it says documents, there's a sign that says a sync is pending. And when I double click on that, I find that the one that's causing the problem is this temporary drive download. And I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and I bet that will go away. So let's go back and see. Yeah. So that one went away. So let's see this one right here. And there's an Outlook folder that also is a culprit. And this right here. I'm going to delete that too. Okay. I got rid of those pending ones because for some reason that I don't think those were legit uh, folders. And this one might probably there's another one. Looking through here, there's something. Also, the icons are important. You see where it says status, and you see right here that shows that these are actually on a phone. That little square box. So it's important to know what the little icons represent. Notice this one right here is solid, and that's because that was open. Okay. Everyone thoroughly confused?
It's
Like I
good.
am?
Bill, I have a question
Sure.
regarding your folder colors. Up under quick access, you had some folders that had colors, but my guess is they look like defaults. Is that true that you can only change colors?
That was true. And if you go to back, let me share my screen. You can change the colors of those. So let's see here, share my screen. I did. So go here to default. Yeah, these right here were are these the ones you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, those are the default colors. Um, I think you can change the colors if you like. Um, not sure how, but hold on. They probably apply to, let's see here, let's go to settings. I don't know if you could actually change those or not.
I have to
Um,
say, when I look at my pictures are the same color as yours, the blue, and the
yeah,
downloads is a
I think,
green.
yeah, I think those are not like a Mac where you can go in and change the folder colors. I think you're kind of stuck with those. Um, um, Now I have changed, I did change the background from light to dark, and that's fairly simple to do. If this bothers you, or if you want to do it, you can go to settings again. Let's see here. It's real simple actually in settings. You can actually toggle that on or off by going to settings and then under system and then display and oh wait, that's even wrong. You can actually do it from the home screen. Uh, right here where it says color mode, you can toggle between the light and dark. So if I click on that, everything turns light. But for me, um, I find this more difficult to read because the background is so bright, and it might be just my eyes. So that's the reason why I prefer to uh to leave it dark. But now everything uh should be, if I go to File Explorer now, it should be, see, it's light now. So you can do that. You can change that part really easily from your home screen. Is just go here to color mode and then just do the drop down and you get the choice of light or dark and just click whatever your choice is and it turns dark. I just find that a little bit easier for me to see, but that's based on my eyes, not everyone else's. The home screen in Windows 11 is really very nice because they've grouped everything together now that you don't really have to go into some of these other settings. That a lot of them are right here on your home screen. Like you can get to your storage. It'll show you how much disk space you're using. You can get to your Bluetooth and see you can see where my phone is connected. Uh, it's really quite nice actually. Um, and you see here my cloud storage. I can personalize my device. I can do most everything right here on this home screen without having to drill down into some of these other areas. But if you must, I mean, it's there available, but uh, this has turned out to be really nice. Also, you can get to Windows Update really quickly. It tells you when it was last checked, but by clicking on that, it'll take you to the Windows Update screen. Uh, so you really don't. So the home screen really shows you a lot of good stuff without you having to, drill down or try to find stuff. It's usually right here handy. Anything else? Got plenty of time.
Well, uh, we normally hold our meetings to about an hour, hour and a half,
Oh, okay.
and so we're kind
I guess
of reaching.
I'm almost expended an hour and a half, haven't I?
So we thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. I do hope you got something out of it, and um,
Well, I picked up a few tips.
yeah, actually, working with File Explorer is kind of a exercise of itself. So you really just have to go and just play with it. There's not really a whole lot you can do. But remember, if you accidentally delete something, keep in the shortcut that Control Z, that will take you back to replace whatever you deleted, as long as you don't do anything else. Um, but if you do Control Z, it'll put you back to where you were. Find that a lifesaver.
Been there and done that.
Thank you so much, Bill. That was really informative.
Well, thanks, Brooke. My pleasure always. So I always enjoy. I learned so much from others as well, and we're all just learning. I don't pretend to be an expert by any means. I just like playing with computers, and so it's a learning experience for me just to give these presentations.
Thank you much. Enjoyed it.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Hope you'll
You
come
all
back.
have a good night.
All right.
Night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I think it's,
Everybody's not signed out yet.
And I think we need to stop the recording.
yes, go ahead and
Yes.
stop the recording. Usually